All right. So I wish to thank you all for being here and for following what happened today in the council. We are very grateful for the council members who have all worked with us to bring this resolution through today. Whether there was an abstention or a yes vote, it showed that the council was united in the desire to have a product. And throughout the negotiations, what I saw and what I felt very strongly was that each Security Council member was very wanted to be sure that was aware of what was going on, wanted to have action, wanted to have a voice on this, and it was this common concern and this common goal that we had to try and find something that we could converge on and have a voice on, which is what brought us here today. I want to thank also my government because they gave me the space and the trust to do this my way and in our time and working with the council. I thank my team who had to run the mission because I was devoted to this. And we managed to bring it home. It is just a first step, as we have all said. This is how this resolution initiated. We took too long to respond to what is going on. But as you know, Malta chairs the Children and Armed Conflict working group of the Security Council, and the situation that we are confronted with here is unlike any other situation of conflict in the world. Gaza is densely populated, densely constructed. There are too many people living together in a very small area, and something else which is very unique is that 50% of that population are children. So this war and the conflict that is going on there has had a disproportionate impact on children, more than in any other conflict situation, which is why we decided to bring a resolution which is focused on the needs of children, particularly for this situation, and haven't taken this action on others, because this is a really particular and unique situation. And children equals innocence. We know it, we all believe it. We believe it in whatever our religions are, and it is also stated in international law, and this is what we tried to bring forth today.
Ambassador, I want to congratulate you on what seemed, you got through what seemed to be the impossible task, but at the same time, it seems it's dead on arrival, because we heard in the council the Israeli envoys say they reject it. So what really has been accomplished?
Well, first of all, the Security Council is the highest body in multinational diplomacy, and the resolutions of the Council are immediately binding on all members. So it is very disappointing that this would be the initial reaction of Israel, especially since they have said that they are already abiding by the provisions of this resolution. Therefore, it should have been a continuation of what they are doing, if that was the case. So we hope that they take the time to read the resolution and to see what it says. We feel that it provides very important there's very important passages in the resolution which take care of the needs of Israelis also. When we consider the plight of the children in the situation, we are also considering the Israeli children. In it, there are children who have been killed on the 7th of October. I said this at the presentation of our vote. There are children who are hostages, and we have to recognize that children are a protected part of the population. Children are innocent vulnerables, and they have to be treated as such. International law says that they are not party to any conflict, and we have to have that recognized. So we feel that this resolution addresses also the needs of Israeli children.
So then do you expect it will be implemented?
The resolution calls for a report by the Secretary General at the next mandated meeting, which, as you know, the Security Council has a mandated meeting on the situation in the Middle East every month, and the next meeting is at the end of this month. the Secretary General has been asked through this resolution to report at the next mandated meeting and to also provide us with options for the implementation of this resolution. Of course, we have already said that this is a first step, and the second step is actually written into the resolution, which is specifically the options on the implementation, and that will be the next decision that the Security Council will have to take to ensure its implementation. Thank you.
Ambassador, sorry, go ahead.
Ambassador, 40 days, roughly 12,000 people have died. Is this too little, too late? Should it have happened before, and why didn't it happen before?
I think there have been many attempts, and unfortunately they didn't pass. We supported previous attempts. We continue to support the Brazilian draft, which is now taken on as an E10 draft. We think that it is very important to have other resolutions. This is definitely just addressing only one small dimension, because we were seeing that it was impossible for the Council to address the entire dimensions of the conflict. But there's a lot more work that needs to be done, and this is a drop in the ocean of that work that needs to be done.
Ambassador, you obviously have a keen sense of what needs to be done. What would you like to see as a minimum number of days for a humanitarian pause to start?
Well, we really rely on the humanitarian actors on this, but in our consultations and when we were drafting this resolution, first of all, I have carried out humanitarian work myself, and I did call on a lot of my own personal experience when I was writing this resolution, because I carried out humanitarian work in the revolution in Libya, where Malta had a very similar response with a humanitarian corridor from Malta into Libya and bringing out injured children and sick children for care in Malta. And I led that response for Malta. So this is what prompted me. It was personal for me in that way, but I have, perhaps on the Security Council, I was the only one that had also this type of experience, and I called on that experience when I was consulting and drafting this resolution. And we have had daily meetings with UN organizations and with OSHA, and we know that at least 3 days is important for them, which is why for us we stuck very strongly to the definition of days when it came to pauses. And of course, ideally the longer the better, but once the number of days are agreed, then there are different plans of what can be done. But we know that we spoke to Martin Griffiths yesterday, day before yesterday. We know that they are ready to go as soon as a pause of days can be agreed. Thank you.